Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to feel about this because it's been a couple of months now and I haven't heard anything from this guy. I literally took the time to type out a whole thing here for a fiscal proposal for Training Mode Network and for Dragon Ball Fighters Training Mode Network's original thesis for the guy before him in order to give something here for the the beginner class players here on PC, so they have some type of shit to come to here on Training Mode Network. Because the thing is that for however this thing is, for what games are you looking to help out with? I gave my original thesis. This was thing a long time ago, and so to recap. So okay, I wanted to take time to introduce myself. I was the chief for the Iacon Battle Circuit PS5 PC. I saw the bill posted about the volunteer help in order to come through for Training Mode Network. I want to wish the staff good luck. I personally issued him a proposal, right? Because it was under the original administration, not the current administration. So if it's possible, if I help with enough promotional advertising, could DBZ be added to the inactive listings? That's what I wanted to originally ask him. Also, what I originally gave him was that I was offering to also pay for the Matcherino. So if they need a Matcherino for something, I'll pay for that to at least have one. If they need to find people, I can help with that to at least get you a few. I know how to get in contact with a few beginner level players that are just kind of lost in the void because they don't have anywhere to go. And regardless of what your staff feels with this game being dead or biasly dead, there are people alive and well playing this game actively on an active basis that would like and would very highly appreciate something like this, so they have something to work and grind towards in the Dragon Ball scene to have a proper gauge of where they're at now in the hierarchy. My last thing here that I said to him, I have been pushing bit by bit for the scene's revival at the beginner intermediate level since there's already enough support at the advanced level. Jumpstarting the starting point is the hardest part of building these things, so I wanted to try and help him find where there is, because I didn't want to hear a productive song and dance where, okay, you're going to give me some whole speech about it is going to be difficult. Yes, I know. You got to also have some ways of communication. Yes, I know. You got to have commentators. Yes, I know. You got to have promotions. Yes, I know. I have contact with all these people and I can help get him in contact with all these people. That way he can do something for the scene. Because he doesn't know that the game is alive or dead. No one's told him any different. Just like what I docked in the previous thing. Because everybody is under the presumption that the game is dead, that's why it's not given an eye or given the light of day for this program, when it originally was. Anyways, barring my attitude. It's my attitude to you. It's not my attitude towards Aaron Curry. It's my attitude that I just have talking about this because it's just a redundant thing that I feel like I have to keep bringing up. So I made this post to him back during February, right? We're now going into April, May area. It's been 2 months. I understand the guy has a server to run. I understand the guy has programs and probably to also get out, which is also counterproductive because you also have other people that are volunteering in your program and in the system of hierarchy that are also productively contributing to this and contributing to the ship of Training Mode Network. Oh, and he's also doing stuff, I think, for Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. And so all those things in taken into account, it doesn't take but a minute in order to just say, hey, I read it, but I'm not really interested, or some type of minuscule or productive response to give me an idea that you read my shit. Like, I'm not just some random person in the void trying to reach out to you just because you're the most powerful fucker relevant to Training Mode Network right now. But I'm trying to get something going here for something that doesn't have anything. Or if you feel like it doesn't deserve it or it doesn't have anything, I would also like to know. To some degree, I might be inclined to agree, but at the same time, I'm also trying to fight to give the beginner class outline, at least for Dragon Ball Fighters' sake. I'm trying to give it a fresh start here for this generation because nobody else is trying to fight for this. I'm trying to fight for this in order to give the beginners a chance. They can't suffer because of the decisions of the past and for the decisions of the people, the advanced people or the other people in my cohorts or whatever it is that are profiting off of the game now that never thought about this shit back then when it needed to matter. It's been 2 months that I've been trying to wait on Aaron Curry to give me an answer here. And I haven't heard anything from him, so I'm probably just going to go on ahead and leave it alone. I'm just going to assume he does not care to want to answer me, or this is an independent issue that I have to find my own independent answer for. I'll think of something, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm back here in training mode network in order to reassess the lot of what's going on here for a handful of updates that have been happening while I've been away. I'm going to do a quick synopsis here while I'm in the mood in order to see what's been going on here with Aaron Curry and his team and to get an idea on some updates that have gone through that were going on in my ping that I have bookmarked. See if I can find it. My deepest sincerest apologies. That's when the Grand Blue got canceled. Yeah, okay, so the power transfer. So, let me move myself. Ooh. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay. Alright, everyone, alright, I got some news for you. Alright, firstly, Maximus Prime will be stepping down as game leads for Guilty Gear Strive. We want to thank him for his service and hard work for TMN Neo and wish him the best in his future endeavors. He'll always have a home here. If you have any interest in picking up this role, reach out to him or use the volunteer form. Secondly, I myself have stepped down as the organization head of TMN Neo and as the game lead for Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. Simply put, I'm in a position where I need to prioritize my personal health, my energy, and well-being, which means that I have given all that I can to TMN and I can't give anymore. The last almost 2 years of running TMN Neo for y'all has been an immense pleasure, but that time is done for me. What does this mean for everyone? At the moment, hopefully not much. Grand new Skyfarer still has folks that might be able to run it. The next cycle has been made, and I'll share the sign-up links in a moment, and things will continue as is. However, in the pursuit of transparency, come the end of May, there is a possibility that TMN Neo may start operating in a limited fashion or cease consistently ran bi-weekly brackets. I can't give you answers at the moment. Okay, so it's not going to be, because they don't do every week, they do just bi-weeklies. I'm sorry that this may feel out of the blue or out of nowhere. Just know that I am proud of what our team was able to accomplish. In my time as leader, we put on roughly 300 plus tournaments across 11 games, current and retired, which is an insane amount for a volunteer group. Thank you all for your support and kindness. This has been for the community and will continue to be in whatever new fashion it takes. Aaron Curry, former organizational head of Training Mode Network Neo. Damn. So Training Mode Network is going to be in the middle of a power transfer for a good while here. Notify, please be sure to sign up for tonight's P4AU. All right, let's take a look at the Google Doc while I'm going through. Because if it's updated, that means it's updated for something. The server isn't shutting down or any going away. It's just that the brackets might not be a thing or as big of a thing as we or this place will continue as is. Yeah, it's just that some brackets won't continue to be a thing or some will continue in an inconsistent fashion. Okay. Then who's taking over now, though, is my counter subject. Apology for late notice, but I will be canceling this week's uni bracket due to combo breaker conflict. That's not what I was looking for. Here we go, Johnny Flash. Okay, bookmark it right here for Johnny Flash. So, okay, so we're looking now at the training mode network Neo to, let's see, do you want to help run training mode network by volunteering to be a stream runner, commentator, bracket runner? Roles you're looking for is the bracket streamer, bracket runner, commentary, game lead. Okay, so yeah, so that one has been kind of reset for right now in order to be a game lead for a returning or an existing game. This role is the most important out of everyone here. You will be in charge of general promotion, organization, and running a game in the bi-weekly lineup. Effectively, this is your game to run under a wider umbrella, and you are expected to be the primary go-to at all times for your game. We are not inhuman and recognize things may come up, but it is expected that you are available every 2 weeks to run your game. This is the role that requires the most scrutiny and involvement from organizers, and we do ask for some experience heading into this. Generally, game leads also act as streamers for their games, so you may be expected to perform that role with the same requirement as the streamer backup streamer role as well. Makes sense. That makes a handful of sense. What games are on display right now? Are games running as seen on their respective days with signups closing? As of right now, before we can accept any more help for DNF Duel, Plus R, Melty Blood type Lumina, and as I said, we're requiring a new game lead for these games. You can still put down your intent for inactive games, but if you only put down inactive games without wanting to be a game lead, we'll reach out and let you know when said games become active again. So if there is no game lead, then that kind of forfeits the activity for when you're able to actually be useful for that item. So you have to be the game. If there isn't an existential lane for the item, you have to be the game lead for the item in order to give it life. Yeah, so you have to take on the bigger responsibility if it's not already here for you. So which ones are here? All right, so Guilty Gear is active. Virtual Fighter is active. Blaze Blue Central Fiction is active. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is active. Exerd is active. Ultimax is active. Persona is active. Undernight is active. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is active. So Melty Blood Access Code Actress again, that's inactive. Guilty Gear Plus R is inactive. DNF Duel is here but is inactive. And Melty Blood Type Lumina, alas, that is inactive. I remember when that went inactive. Okay, so Fighters isn't even on the registration on the Rolodex anymore. For commentators, link your things, agreements, and understandings. Anything you want to tell us, simply put, ask us here. Otherwise, we'll get back to you in a speedy manner. You know what? I might actually ask how come Dragon Ball Fighters can't be in the currently inactive listings for ahead. Because if that's the case, then that could probably be a service thing I could put there. That might explain why I didn't hear anything for like the past month plus and some change from Curry. Okay, next up is John Flash. What was I reading here? Okay, so time for a quick update on the future of the training mode network, and it's mostly good news. We're not going anywhere. But the game leads have decided that we need to take some time to be absolutely sure of how to run this ship without Curry at the helm. I can confirm now that these things that I announced live during the last driving lessons stream, all training mode network brackets will be breaking for about a month at the end of the current cycle, ending on June 6th. That's like right before Pride FGC. Driving lessons will additionally pause for the month of July because I'm traveling a lot. Okay, so he's the host of Driving Lessons. I'm taking over managing the Start GG on a 4-month trial period so we can get back on our feet quickly. Then I'll reassess whether I can continue with the duty. My deepest apologies to go to the game leads for jumping the gun or announce these things without getting the proverbial green light. A great example of the kind of mistake will be spending the month of June figuring out how to prevent. All of us on the team at TMN are so very grateful to Dove and Curry, Doveingly, for their leadership in making this community what it has become, and for all of your continued support of this organization through its reboot as TMN Neo, and for the opportunity that you give us to serve the FGC in this wonderful way. We'll see you next month. Just a tomato. So low key, I should be trying to seek him out for a pending interview later on down the road, or trying to see if I can establish connections with that individual. That way it can give me an idea on the further relations with TMN and figuring out a handful of things going down the road with their directional course.
Okay. Okay, now, all right, over here in the training mode staff announcement here, so the administrative section of the TMNT server is where I'm looking at a more detailed part of what Curry was talking about here in his leave taking in the original main post, where he decided to step down from leading TMNT Neo. So this has been on my mind really since Frosties. That was February. It's become more real in my head when I got laid off in March. And in the past 2 weeks at my new job, it really dawned on me that I've given Training Mode Network all I could, and I can't keep giving any more. This comes in large part with the realization at my job that I am the heaviest I've ever been in my life, and I want to reverse course before my health gets affected adversely, before I get adversely affected. So then I need to make pretty large sweeping lifestyle changes. Okay, the dieting, exercise, sleep schedule, all of it needs to be altered, and I don't see myself being able to do everything I do on top of these changes. I simply don't have the juice left in me to keep being an org head on top of trying to lose 100 pounds along with the rest of what I do. Okay, so the balanced between life, work, weight loss to get back on proper dieting, and then also try and spearhead this whole ideology for Training Mode Network Gen 2. So that actually makes a lot of sense ideally. That makes a lot of sense. It's been almost 2 years since myself and the rest of y'all got together to continue the original Training Mode Network from Arcadia, and it's been nothing but a complete pleasure to be able to serve you all. I can at least tell you what my next steps are and what I can do as we figure out what's next. I will have the Start GG pages ready for the next 3 cycles tonight. I can get those set up for the entirety of May and show what all needs to be done to copy the bracket every 2 weeks. I will be stepping down as game lead for Grand Blue versus Rising and will not be running it next cycle or going forward personally. Nexon has said he might be able to, but if there's anyone able to help out, please let him know. I will not be able to keep up with promo work for TMN on Twitter, Blue Sky, or on Discord. I will gather the login info for all socials plus the Twitch and post them in the Google Drive links. Okay, that's the resource center for people to use as necessary. Nothing should be attached directly to me, like a recovery email or anything, but if something crops up that genuinely requires me to deal with, then obviously I will. I know there will be a lot of questions on what comes next, and truthfully, I don't know. I don't know if anyone is wanting or willing to step into my role. I don't know who or what that'll look like, but I'll at least be sticking around long enough to help that transition out. There's always the possibility that there simply isn't someone who will fill these shoes, and that Training Mode Network Neo just starts to wind down into just a occasional bracket for members of the Discord, and that's it. like the original TMNT, or it could cease to be consistent or a consistent, enduring bi-weekly thing. Sometimes it is just what it is. If it winds down and finishes, then we've given it a really good run for 2 years. If it continues on without me, then TMN Neo continues on without me. I've done what I can, and I have to leave the rest to y'all. I'll be announcing this to the main Discord sometime tomorrow or Friday when I am able to, because this is hitting me way harder than I imagined it would. I just want you all to know from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your incredible hard work and dedication to the community. This genuinely would not be possible without you, and you will always have my gratitude. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Sorry I couldn't give any more. I'll still be a person, I just can't be your leader anymore. Much love, Aaron. Okay, I kind of take back some of what I said earlier in the month, because I just honestly thought he didn't give a fuck to read my messages after I took the time to really lay out a whole thing for him in the server. I really thought he didn't care, or I don't know if he still does, but this paints a better picture now on why he did not, between work, between trying to start a better diet, between the shift in power here, and kind of just like fatigue setting in, and trying to balance organization here and then organization at work. So that's understandable that he would like eventually leave here, and then it's kind of left without the leadership identity here. So I can't really say anything. I can't really say anything there. And someone booted up stream playing Invincible verses and didn't let anyone know or wouldn't respond to anyone in chat. I had to clock out of work at my job to come home, remove everyone from shared streamer listings so all the stream keys are invalidated, disable the account to kick them off the stream, change the password to both the Twitch and Gmail so no one has access to those anymore, and lock this shit down hard. This is a major violation of the trust needed to run a shared Twitch channel. Either someone booted up without checking what account they were on, or someone gave out one of the stream keys or access to the accounts to someone else to fuck around, because there's no suspicious activity in the Gmail about logins we don't know about for today. At this moment, I don't have any concrete answers because I need to go back to my job, but I am feeling like this is just further reason to wind everything down and be done with it. I am so beyond frustrated and disappointed. For BBCF on Saturday, I will personally hand out the keys to whoever is streaming it the day of, and we'll figure out what's left after this. YouTube exporting from Twitch is acting up, and I had to disconnect the YouTube account from Twitch. Until we can get that fixed, please download your VODs to your PC and upload them to YouTube that way, because the export button on Twitch will not work. We do not want the VODs getting lost. Oh, you have to download. Oh, I know. I had to do that with a couple of my things when I had account issues between downloading them from Twitch directly to your account or to the YouTube account, one or the other. So that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, just download the VODs to PC, and then you can. Actually, that kind of makes sense on why, like, it's like for this aspect, that's good that that's on PC. That way you can just download the VODs raw, and then you can edit them and then upload them to the channel as you need, or to your channel sparingly should you need. That way the VOD for this session was out there that day. That makes sense. Regarding the Invincible verses, that's really unfortunate. That's super unfortunate that that there was like a huge major violation of trust that happened here in the server that just kind of taints the whole process in trying to trust people. Yeah, that's Doveingly.
That's the dude I had documented in the one of my previous things about Training Mode Network.
Like, I don't understand how someone could be so selfish in wanting to stream Invincible versus on the Training Mode Network account. Training Mode Network didn't offer to have something for this. There's already enough people here in their niche to manage 11, 12 something different games. They don't need something else here, and they damn sure didn't need this. And so that just that just really sucks on like a really disappointing trial of giving out trust to people and expecting them to honor that trust, and it's just broken. So I hope that during the downtime they can figure out a lot of these gray areas and a lot of the holes in the game plan that they need to try and patch up going forward past Curry's leadership. And then I don't know. I know for RFL, when I used to do the RFL stuff, I was the host for Melty Blood. I was the host for Undernight, RFL Undernight, RFL Melty, and I was the co-host and streamer and card creator. Well, also card creator for the other two. Card creator for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus until the third season, almost the third season, when we brought in a different editor that basically kind of took my position. And I made it my responsibility to always have access or have the stream key for RFL be different than my stream key for Iacon and my setup. That way they're two completely different things that you're not supposed to get mixed up on purpose or intentional, or you just don't care or you forgot. You need to be on top of that shit 100% of the time, because another organization is trusting you to keep that shit organized and to keep a sense of responsibility and accountability if something goes wrong with the content. It is up to you to edit that content if you need to. It's up to you to make sure that you have the recorded documentation of that whole competitive event secured from start to finish. If anything's wrong, trust me, people will know. So I wish them the best of luck in trying to figure all that out, is all I can say. I wish them the best of luck in trying to figure that out, because that's just a lot. I'm trying to think. Oh, the technicians officer for TMN. I'm trying to think, because with Training Mode Network situation, this complicates so much shit, because it means that my whole proposal is to TMN is dead in the water. A lot of the upstarting, intermediate, and beginner friendly IPs to the branding are now caught in the crossfire in limbo right now. The newer items coming in are going to be still put on hiatus or put in the inactive listings. Commentators are going to be out for right now. And Dragon Ball FighterZ still doesn't go anywhere. I got so far in order to try and get some type of footing here, and I can't even get that far. And now I can't even get it at all, with Training Mode Network just gone, or hiatus right now. I don't know how I want to deal with this. Like, all these communities are kind of caught in the crossfire of how to have like a proper upbringing
for all of these portals for the beginner level aspect to have the avenues for other players coming in. All these communities are, for the most part, still generally healthy, but there still has to be this pipeline. There has to be a pipeline like this to help take care of the beginner class player. Otherwise, they're just stuck. I mean, all the communities will take care of their own. I still got to try and help take care of mine. Like, I personally refuse to let this be the final say. I'm Rodimus Prime, and this is just pending biased bullshit that the newcomers shouldn't even have had to face here. Like, it's unfair to expect today's players to bear the consequences of mistakes made long before they even got here. There has to be a sense of fairness. There needs to be a sense of justice for this, progress, accountability, some type of stewardship, and to just give them a fresh start. Giving new players the whole opportunity to succeed without inheriting old burdens. And I just refuse to have today's players pay for our mistakes and poor decisions of the past. They can't suffer because we were able to prosper. That's not fucking fair to them. I'll think of something. I just can't think of it right now, but I'm going to think of something. Because I just refuse to let this stand.
We're not going to let that happen!
Leaders and community leaders to be the example of the change they seek to have or to implement or to craft. So I'm going to create a beginner intermediate based bracket that I feel I can house with my connections and the pull that I have across the scene in order to try and get a lot of the experienced craving players some needed exposure and some love that they really have needed and have probably been lacking for a long time to really get that confidence and that stat boost that they really need for self-confidence. And so I'm thinking on a name or like a pitch that works accordingly for the brand. And so I'm thinking on like, okay, the opening stage for a competitive pipeline is designed specifically for the new and rising players. The way I want to try and pitch this is, okay, what did I say here? The road to Iacon. Every scene needs a starting point. This is yours. The road to Iacon's beginner series is built for new competitors and rising players, both that are ready to take that that real next step. For structured play, learning the format, feel tournament pressure, meet your competition, confront your growth. Show up, compete, level up. Every top player started somewhere. This is that somewhere in the void. It's something to that design is what I really want to look forward to. And let this sit for a bit. Okay. While I'm also figuring out the name, I also was able to make a decent attempt at a banner here for the interior portion of my program. So the name I want to settle on right now, I think, is called Road to Iacon. Let me know how that sounds, Road to Iacon. I may or may not patent it later, but it's something that I'm also going to include because it's something that builds into the Iacon battle circuit where monsters and masters are created. So the Road to Iacon, I was able to actually have a nice 80s-ish, 90s-ish vibe here with this for the little Lamborghini I had here going off into the nice techno sunset of sorts by Iacon. Let me know how this looks, because I thought this actually came out like pretty damn good, all things considered. Key thing is there's nothing else I really want to add to this. This is actually really good as it is. I was thinking some more characters over here, but I'll leave that alone because too much might be too much. And so I want it to be just the right amount visually to be visually appealing. This is going to ultimately go right here, and then I can kind of edit that around from there, and then slowly incorporate this into probably like an early planner for end of February, possible March, just to have one and see how the first one goes and see how people like it, see if it's a confidence booster. The key thing for me on my end is to make it as introduction friendly for the game on its floor ceiling as possible. And so this is also going to be a test of merit for me in order to try and make this as welcoming as I can. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and have this as it is. And then we're going to put this here. Remove. Yeah, and then I can all start right here. I can put that literally in the thing here. Every top player started somewhere. The root of all those pipelines, this is that somewhere. Yeah, hang on. Let me put that right in here. It actually just gave me like a heck of an idea. Low key. Every scene needs a starting point. This is yours. There's nothing else I can really put there. I think I'll just go ahead and just leave that blank. Yeah, this will work. Every scene needs a starting point. And then I think I can put that right here in like what I really want that to do. And then the rules and all this stuff here is all the same general amalgamation of a template that my usual Iacon would have. I would just change up a couple of pretenses for maps and possible commentary or things to work on specifics. That way it can further the premise on making an inviting atmosphere for the players. Right? Oh, she's at the mashy level. Okay. Yeah, it's around the management of progress. You're up against a lot of players. With varying habits. Most of those habits and patterns. Let's see, what kind of teams do you see? I gotta see what type of, what else is there? I think I should also
Look, I can see that my mods are looking out for me, and I love you guys for that. I really do. Honest to God, I really, really do. I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. Thank you. Thank you so much for having my back all these years and helping me to see Iacon Battle Circuit through to the end game. Time after time after time. Every time I try to bring it to the rodeo of one of these scenes. And we've been able to make a lot of really beautiful, magical events together. This I can't even give you a proper answer because I don't even know the answer myself. You and Pika are absolutely right. And the thing about it is I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to overlook any of this. I wish I could have a better answer for a lot of this. I really don't. Neo's not going to take all the credit for this, or at least I hope to God not. I did the groundwork from this for the ground up. I did the groundwork for this from the ground up, literally. One guy coming in just because he's popular, I know shouldn't, in theory, take everything away that I've been building up just to try and slap another label on it and then it's better. But considering it's a whole scene of New Yorkers, I don't know. I don't know how the outcome of that will be. I don't know what that landscape is going to look like if it happens. But you guys are absolutely right. But listen to me. No one else is going to do this. The community needs to have a leader step up, be a man, and try to respectfully establish something for those beginning players. They have nothing. They literally have nothing. Granted, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this at all. The reason why I choose to do this is because I I try to be encompassing of all the players that I've met so far, and I understand how hard it is to try to be decent, or not be good, but just be decent at something that you really, really love, that you can't get a simplistic journey for. I know how hard that is to try and get good at a game or be decent at a game that has no direction. It's directionless. You have no one there to really help you except just you and your thoughts. And if the appeal isn't always there, or you're fighting people better than you all the time, the appeal to want to get good at the game dwindles more and more and more to where you don't want to play the game at all. And there's a lot of people that have already felt that way about this game, and have felt that way about like how the scene has evolved, degraded and both evolved over the years. It's degraded in the older image sense, it's evolved in the better image sense. Personally, I like the high road and the evolved sense, but we, in the sense of community evolution, we did lose this existential pipeline that needed to be here for Dragon Ball's next generation to already be rooted in the ground and growing currently, which it's not, and that's the problem. I don't want to be the problem solver solely, because I don't even know if this is going to work like I think it's going to work. I have no idea how this is going to work. I have no idea if it's even going to pay off in terms of getting the new players here, getting all the upstarts here to play. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't want to be at the helm of this completely. Yes, between the metafy, or between already hosting Iacon, and between taking care of family, and between helping other TOs get a footing and get on their feet, because they don't really have that lens. They have people that just want to try and either take from them more than give, or they don't help to try and not take from their lens, but to help expand their present lens. That way they're gradually growing at an organic and healthy rate of productivity that they should be doing. And not every scene cares to do that. Not every scene in this game, or these games, not every scene is abundant to where they want to help people all the time. They only want to help out their people. They don't want to help out the people. Or I understand, Wolfie and Pika. I understand, and I love you guys, because I just know too fucking much. That's my problem, honestly, with wanting to do this, is because I just know how the scenes will be. I know how everybody's going to react. I know that people do need this, but yes, I also don't know whether or not they actually want it from me per se. And you want to put a better face to the label of who is at the helm of modern day beginner ideology for Dragon Ball fighters. And I'm sure there's probably better people than me, but better people than me also don't give a fuck to present themselves to the table. They're off doing their own shit. There has to be someone that gives a damn about these people for these people to prosper. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them to the end game. I really don't. All I can do is just toss my hat in the ring a couple of times and try. That's all I can do for them, is just try. And yes, the PC race has shit on me for years. But I don't want any favors from them. I don't want any favors from the PC people. I already know my own. The PlayStation people want me around and still want me to keep doing whatever the hell it is I'm doing. And so I'm just going to keep doing it. I wish this got easier. I really wish it could get easier, but I just don't. I don't see how right now. Best I can do is just during my downtime after I'm done competing is to turn an eye to this for a little bit, see how it picks up steam. If it picks up steam, maybe I can find somebody else to help me with the idea. The whole reason why I took on this idea, you guys, was because of Doveingly. Doveingly held the whole front down for this during yestergeneration for Training Mode Network, up until people didn't want it anymore, or he inadvertently phased it out when rollback was a thing. However, the events actually happened at that time. I don't know if that's going to happen here. I don't know if that's going to happen at that time, but the best I can do is just show them I care. They need something at least one time to have something to grow off of, to show them that they can still keep playing and they can still keep trying. And then I'll just try not to be too disappointed if somebody else steals my idea. Like, hell, it's not even that people are stealing my idea at that point. It's just, I just want somebody else to try and take over the idea after me. If this does kick off, give it to the next guy. It's not even that they're taking the credit. I want to give them that, because this whole project, if it does kick off, trying to balance this more with Iacon, I can do only to an extent. I cannot do it consistently alongside Iacon. And I want somebody else to actually take that mantle here, to give that ideology for the upstarts, and then come to me if you need something, or if you need the extra push for the lens. Use my lens. People, it's already determined time after time after time that people who use my lens, or I go to retweet shit, they blow up more than I do tweeting out and promoting my shit in my own lane. So it just sadly makes sense. And I would prefer to give my powers to the beginner lens. That way it has a chance to grow, so other people out there, and a lot of randoms out there that aren't sure about getting into the game, they have this portal right here that starts everything. I'll try not to be in my feelings, but if I am, then at least I know I got you guys here in my corner to help me pick up the pieces again. Okay. So everything here looks about right for what I wanted here with Road to Iacon. And then I'll just keep this here in the back burner. I need to see if I can, I don't know if it'll be futile or not. See if I can find someone over in the official Dragon Ball server, if they can help try and get this out to people. And then it just starts, all I can do is just fish my hook and just put out my general hook that this is like a beginning aspect, and see how people really take to it, or see what the appeal is. If there's any beginners out there who feel like they want to test themselves, or test their might, test their luck, then just try this out and see where it takes them, right? I kept it pretty simple here, so if you guys want to, in the comment sections, feel free to take a look here and see how it all looks. See if I did everything right here. I feel I did. I'm not trying to make it like too wordy. I'm trying to make it just a base presentation. The Road to Iacon series, the beginner intermediate, is built for new competitors and rising players both, that are ready to take that real first step, structuring your play, learn the format, feeling the tournament pressure, meet your competition and its adaptation, confronting your growth. You meet the person in the mirror, scared possibly, but with grace, as you won the fight to become the better you. You came this far, let's go the rest of the way. I feel like that in its own right is a good hook to begin trying to bring in the lesser experienced players, and then they can start to shape an identity here. See, there's already a couple people in here, so that'll work. I'm happy for this. I'm happy. Again, if you guys have anything you want to add to it, or your own thoughts to add between the loss of Training Mode Network's main leader, the hiatus of Training Mode Network that's going on right now in the background for all of their beginner templates for a lot of the IPs that are kind of caught in the balance right now for the beginner outlet. And then my proposal here that I was originally trying to give to them in order to re-jumpstart a Dragon Ball FighterZ pipeline for the beginner level. I'm going to try this myself after a specific checkpoint for a major passes, and then I'll just kind of hang up my PvP gear for a little bit in order to execute this next chapter for Dragon Ball FighterZ. See where it goes. It may work, it may not work. I'm also heeding the advice of my mods in order to make sure that I approach this very carefully and hope for the best, prepare for the worst, basically. You guys take care out there. Thanks for tuning in to the next episode. And fingers crossed this can bring some prosperity to the beginner landscape, however far it goes. Till all are one, chat.